My name's Kevin Call. I'm the MD at Solab and the founder of Onboard Tracker. And we're here today to talk about competence for step change. I'm very happy to do so. Who are we? We're an IT services company based in Aberdeen, which I set up 30 years ago in 1991. And we have a software development arm which does crew management, certification, competence, and brings all of the logistics of planning all together into one simple online platform. We've done really well with it in the last few years, and this year we are up for the Offshore Achievement Awards, which I'm very pleased about. In regards to some stats for you, we've not got long today, so we're tracking people going to more than 70% of the manned rigs in the UKCS and in over 50 countries around the world. We also track an awful lot of vessels. When we got asked to write a system for this particular industry, we struggled with quite a lot of what's going on with the industry. That there was no naming convention, consistency. Everyone calls everything different things. The data was inconsistent that we were receiving. That there was no real alignment to frameworks, and really largely still isn't. And there's no agreements on the terminology, and all of those make it really, really difficult to make an IT system or a software system linked to that. So we've then looked at other industries and aligned industries like renewables and so on, and they're using different competence frameworks and different terminologies. And everyone across the industry has different opinions of what competence is, or even whether it's competence or training or some of both. And it's not really linked to any personnel planning or logistics, which really made no sense to us because we feel that it should be integrated. The decision about whether you're putting someone into a role, in a safety critical role, should be about their competence and their certification, but more often than not, if it's done on Excel spreadsheets, it is purely their availability. So we took a decision to build a system for the industry that would be configurable. So all the companies across the supply chain would be able to use it. They would be able to support different sizes, different types of companies, ones who support contractors or staff or whatever, and they all had very, very different needs. It's been difficult, but what we've ended up with is a lot of traction in the marketplace, and we've got a very large, highly available multi-tenant system. The beauty of it is we've made it with no upfront capital costs, so a 10-man company can get the same system as a 10,000-man company and just pay a different price for it on a subscription. So we'd like to think that we're enabling mobilization decisions to be made now that you can do it from competence and certification rather than those being siloed into different areas. Being competence orientated, we decided that we'd ask some of our clients to assess our benefits for you, and here's what they said. So this is global E&C, and they have put the system in over the last year, and they state here that it has transformed how they operate, and very nicely that it was head and shoulders above the rest. We also have companies like Blaze, who have 25 people, but had the same challenges, the same audits that they're required to do, the same ability to be able to choose who they need to do, and you could argue, well, less resources because we don't have a training team. It's operations people who are actually doing it, and they mentioned game changer there, and that it's always evolving. We have the likes of Subsea 7, where they've said it's the heart of their data, and they're really excited about the future and what it holds for us. And the likes of Sparrows, where again they use the game changer word, and they're a large user of the system across all different aspects of their business. We've got Archer, where they have a large number of rigs, and they move people between the rigs. So we've got very different environments, drilling environments, construction, marine, all across them all. So we're seeing competence, certification, logistics, patterns across all of them. We've got a very nice statement from Billfinger here as well, where they state that the future is onboard tracker. They have seen huge benefits in using the training and competence side within their environment. Here's some of the other clients that we've got, and there's lots more, but some great names there. They all chose it because it gives them the ability to bring all of the siloed information that you've got in various bits across the business to enable you to make proper decisions and keep your people safe. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Emily now, and she's going to talk you through the system. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Emily Reid, Senior Sales Executive at Solab and Onboard Tracker, and I'm delighted to be taking you through some of our system today. I'm going to start off with showing you our competence module and highlighting how a candidate, assessor, verifier, and expert witness each access the system and each have their own journey and user experience tailored to their specific job role and the information relevant to them. I will then show you how we integrate the competence module with our other crewing modules, which include workforce planning, personnel logistics, and training, whereby users across the company are alerted to important competence data, such as matrix requirements, expiries, and gaps, when selecting, mobilising, and preparing employees for both offshore and onshore trips. On my screen, you will see an example of Onboard Tracker in action. The first thing you see when you log in are these dashboards and widgets which show me my own personal KPIs from the system that I am interested in. Some options are certificates expiring in the next 6 months, alerting me to employee work assignments where individuals are non-compliant for reasons such as expiring certificates or unattained competences, and highlighting who within the workforce is available to work on a specific date range. When I enter into his profile, I land on a summary page. This page is predominantly used by Steve himself to see details of his current and future work, holiday, training, and travel assignments. He can see his certification requirements, which are driven by his matrices alongside any expiries, and he can also see his required competences, again driven by his matrices, but this time with recently completed competences appearing with comments and dates directly from his assessors. If I now take you straight into Steve's competence profile, you'll see we have the following pages available to him. Firstly, we can review his attained competences to understand his current competence status. Secondly, we and he can view and manage his evidence library, whereby we can store documents, videos, voice transcripts, and any body of work which will be used as evidence when carrying out a competence submission. Thirdly, we can review in-progress competences, and finally, we can review required competences as per his matrices which have not yet been either started or completed. Here we can see there are both role-specific and site-specific competences which Steve must attain. Now, where this data comes from is within the administrative section of Onboard Tracker, where we make it very easy to manage global and complex competence matrices by occupation, client, site, and more based on your company processes. When it comes to reporting, we have a number of powerful Power BI dashboards and granular reports which highlight key data such as training and competence compliance across occupations, sites, teams, and people. We can review competence progress and see where we will achieve full compliance based on our trajectory. And of course, we can export competence matrices to give access to clients or review internally to make sure we are on track. So now we have worked through competence on its own. How does this tie into the whole crewing, selection, mobilising and scheduling process? Well, I can take you through a very quick example of this now. Within this page here, titled Site Management, We have the ability to plan, select, schedule, and mobilize employees for work based on asset, client, and safety requirements. For example, let's say I am responsible for the Get On Board vessel. I can see the jobs and projects happening at this site alongside the additional safety critical role requirements, whereby we always require 3 HDAs and 1 HLO to be on board. By entering into the next tab called Positions, I can see a full list of the crew I require on site across divisions like engineering, marine, rigging, ROV, survey, and so on. Whenever I have a blue box, I require somebody in this position on board the vessel. Whenever it is white, I do not. By opening up the position, I can determine the exact certification, competence, and safety critical requirements I require as per each position. When I move into the next tab, I can now see people starting to appear on my requirements. Whenever I have a TBA, I require somebody in that position. Whenever I have a light blue box with a person's name, I've planned them in. And whenever I have a dark blue box, I've confirmed that person in. By dragging and dropping over a TBA period, I can then utilize my search function, which looks into the information available within Onboard Tracker to highlight who is available, who is competent, who is certified, and who is skilled to fulfill my requirements. Again, powerful reporting backs this up, so we can see gaps across the workforce where we are struggling to fill specific sites, occupations, jobs, and identify perhaps where we need to upskill or engage in a competence project to ensure we are meeting the demands of our clients. Here at Onboard Tracker, we are so passionate about making the move to digital systems easy, accessible, and a worthwhile investment to your companies. And I hope we've shown you today some of the benefits in doing so. We hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and please do reach out to myself and Kevin if you would like to learn more about our system. Thank you.